Well, guys, once again, good evening. Welcome to our sessions. We continue working. Of course, now we have started, sorry, Unit 12. And, well, we need to start to project on next week. We already know how demanding our course is. And I hope that time works on our side. But one of the things that I really hope that we can do tonight is also organizing the project presentation. A mini paréntesis. Pues sabemos que nuestro calendario va a toda marcha. Entonces, el próximo miércoles en nuestra sesión 9 tenemos en el primer bloque la presentación del proyecto, en lo que ustedes han venido trabajando la mayoría, obviamente, durante esos 3 primeros ciclos. Mi intención siempre es como con la mayor anticipación posible empezar a organizar todos esos detalles. Quizás el primer detalle a organizar es en qué grupos, por decirlo así, se podrían estar recibiendo los estudiantes nuevos. Ya ustedes han trabajado cada vez en ambos bloques en diferentes breakout rooms y ya de alguna manera empiezan como a conocerse un poco más. También ustedes están en su grupo de WhatsApp. Probablemente ya es algo que han empezado a discutir. ¿Listo? Hay un participante que no continúa, de pronto ahí podría uno de ustedes ingresar como a cubrir ese puesto, por decirlo así, y ya luego estaremos mirando cómo la otra persona pues también se incluye. Ustedes dirán, pero todavía falta una semana. Sí, pero es bueno que ustedes desde ya empiecen como a organizar quién va a decir qué, de tal manera que pues puedan distribuir como todas sus tareitas, ya que la próxima semana pues además de la presentación de nuestro proyecto, pues el jueves es el examen final. Y no quiero que el martes a las 10 de la noche estén diciendo, bueno, ¿y qué hacemos mañana? Espero, ojalá, ya reviso el chat, que ustedes ya estén empezando como a colaborar. Sí, Jorge, y tiempo no hay. Entonces, por eso estoy como insistiéndoles desde ya con esa información. No los quiero asustar ni mucho menos, pero pues intento organizar lo más posible la información. That's my intention. I just wanted to remind you that. Let me change something that I'm doing here as well. Well, first of all, I'm going to take attendance. You don't have to tell me now the decision that you may take in terms of the organization of the groups, but just like to, once again, refresh your memory. I know that there is one aspect that is pending, that is the virtual campus. Well, unfortunately, in this case, it has been delayed. I think that's the word to use in this case, the process of including you guys in the groups. But I think that in a few, okay, no, you were already enrolled. Give me a moment. Okay, yes. Well, one thing at a time. Let's start with the attendance, and then we can move to the information of the virtual campus. Karen Victoria Acevedo.
Present, teacher.
Okay. Steven Santiago Fonseca.
Here.
Okay. Sergio David Gómez. Not here for the moment. Andrés Felipe Jaimes is the one that is absent now. Kiara Lizeth Martinez.
Present, teacher.
Okay. Mentiras. Jorge Jair Moreno.
Present, teacher.
Okay. Diego Fernando Olarte. Diego, I saw that, well, he just started like to be part of the session. I'm gonna wait a minute for his answer in a moment. Dana Valentina Ortiz.
Present, miss.
Okay. Manuela Ortiz.
Present.
Okay. Joan Sebastián Pavón. Is not here for the moment. And let me see the chat. There you are in the chat, absolutely. Beatriz Omaira Pedraza.
Present.
Okay. Hamilton Peña.
Present, teacher.
Okay. Xiomara Caterine Rincón.
Present, teacher.
Okay. Jessica Paola Ríos.
Present, teacher.
Ok. Catherine Alexandra Rodríguez.
Miss,
Catherine. Escuché Miss, me escucho. That's all that I listen.
I'm here.
Ok, there you go. Yo ahorita solo escuché literalmente teacher, pero ya te escuché que es lo importante. Marlon Yesit. Okay, not here for the moment. Mendy Fabián.
Teacher present.
Okay. Manuel Alberto.
Present, teacher.
Okay. Karen Juliet Torres.
Present.
Kiara, perdón, María Alejandra Vega.
Present.
Vanessa Zambrano. Okay, not here for the moment. In the chat. Okay, there you are. Este es el papaya. Natalia Navarro.
Present.
Okay. So just to check, for the moment, the ones that are not here are Marlon Yesit. Y acabo de ingresar Sergio David. Sergio David.
Hello, teacher.
Okay, there you are. Very good. Okay, guys. Okay, that's sad. Maybe. Maybe you are wondering why I'm taking so much time. We're getting some information from the coordination. As I was telling you, first thing, one of the new things is related to Moodle. So I'm gonna share my screen so I can let you know that part. A mini paréntesis, guys, entonces, el proceso de Moodle infortunadamente es más largo de lo que uno quisiera que fuera. Todos son protocolos, etcétera. Oficialmente ya están en Moodle, excepto los estudiantes nuevos. Quizás lo único que ustedes pueden ir haciendo por el momento es mirando el instructivo, de tal manera que cuando ustedes ya oficialmente estén inscritos, pues digamos que simplemente, comillas, empezar a realizar las actividades. ¿Listo? Entonces, es eso. Nuevamente no. Me vuelvo acá. Somos el grupo A2.4. Siempre las nomenclaturas cambian, lo cual es algo un poco harto realmente. Listo. Entonces, los que ya se han matriculado ya es empezar a trabajar lo que son las 4 unidades finales. Yo entiendo como siempre que es bastante tiempo, pero bueno, esa es la directriz. ¿Listo? Miremoslo desde el punto de vista positivo, siempre nos sirve para practicar para el examen. Entonces, les voy a mostrar a los estudiantes que ya me salen matriculados para asegurar. Ya tenemos a André Felipe Jaimes, a Beatriz, Ana Valentina, Diego Fernando, Hamilton, Joan Sebastián, Jorge Jair, Karen Juliet, Catherine, Kiara Lisette, la docente Laura Juliana, la coordinadora Laura Carolina, Laura, Dios mío, Lilian Carolina, Manuela, María Alejandra, las 2 María Alejandras, lo siento, le di clic aquí al perfil de Marlon, yo, Mendy, Natalia, Sergio, siguiente, Vanessa, Xiomara y Jessica. Entonces ya técnicamente estamos todos matriculados. Ojalá lo más pronto posible poder empezar a realizar el trabajo. ¿Listo? Infortunadamente, ¿qué nos faltan? Los estudiantes nuevos. Y bueno, guys, recuerden que siempre aparecen las aulas previas, las ya realizadas. La que tenemos que realizar es la A2.4. ¿Listo? Para que de pronto no perdamos el trabajo, por decirlo así, en otras aulas. No sé si de esa parte tengan preguntas, guys. Ok. Listo. Los nuevos por el momento, empezar o asegurarse que pueden ingresar. Yo les había contado el primer día ya para cerrar como esta sección de información general, que si de pronto ustedes ya habían ingresado, obviamente aquí, ya fuera por pregrado, antes y pred, en este momento, digamos que esa no es la parte de la cuenta que nos sirve, es por la de Instituto de Lenguas, entonces va a ser un proceso diferente. ¿Listo? Para que no piensen que, no, yo ya había ingresado antes, yo ya tengo una cuenta, no importa, no. Asegúrense de tal manera que ya cuando vayan a trabajar, pues no venga el problema de no me sirve, no me funciona, estoy perdiendo tiempo, me van a quedar actividades sin hacer, etcétera. Yo soy un poco dramática con ese tipo de cosas, pero mientras más se logran organizar, mucho mejor. I saw that someone took part of the session, but I forgot. I guess it was Marlon. Me pareció ver que alguien ingresó, pero no alcancé a ver el nombre. Y paso
Yes,
y ya.
teacher.
A Marlon. Ok, perfect. There you are. Siguiente cambio acá porque luego Nancy termina llamando en un ratico. Ok. Well, guys, let's officially begin. In terms of content, of course, this information is also important. You know that we have to do all these administrative things. As I was telling you today, we continue working on our unit 12. Let's say the aspects that we will be studying tonight are related to personal items that will be in terms of the vocabulary, and in terms of grammar, we will start having a look, I would say officially start having a look at past simple passive. Of course, I'm taking as a point of reference our book. I'm talking about pages 108 and 109. You already noticed that it takes some part of the activity that we have in here, make some adjustments, but of course we try to cover, let's say the topic that is being presented on the book. So guys, this is like the 4 pictures that we have on pages, actually in page 108. And this is the question that we have in there, or the instruction actually. Look at the pictures. Which of the words of the list can you see in these advertisements? Here we have the different words. We have jewelry, cosmetics, toiletries, hair products, and products for men. I want to give you just a couple of seconds to look at the pictures and to look at the images. Let me turn this off. So which of these items of this list you see in the pictures? Jewelry, cosmetics,
Cosmetics.
toiletries, cosmetics,
Products for men.
products for men, okay.
Hair products.
Again,
Hair products.
hair products, very good. Which one you consider that you don't see in the picture?
Toiletries.
Toiletries, okay. Well, in this case, we actually say toiletries because remember that toilet, it's a word taken from French. So in that case, we have, let's say, to pronounce all the letters of the word. And what is the idea when we say toiletries, guys? What, let's say, products are we assigning to this word, the toiletries?
Teacher, tiene que ver algo con el baño.
Yeah, actually, it's a good connection. Yes, something related to, well, to the bathroom.
¿Las toallitas son?
Sorry?
Toallitas como para limpiar la cara, no sé.
Well, too much Spanish tonight for the moment, but maybe talking about wipes. Okay, what else?
Ay, Miss, ¿eso no es lo de las cositas del baño, como productos del baño?
Yeah, we can talk about those products that we have in the bathroom, you know. Usually, let me see the chat. Okay, you are like,
Is the products that we use for our clean, nuestra
Oh,
limpieza,
our cleaning.
personal clean.
Let's say personal grooming, you know, not only cleaning. If you want to think of a list of these things, imagine when you go maybe to a hotel and there are these bottles of shampoo. We have
Hand cream.
lotion. That would be the lotion. The wipes. I mean, all those things that we need, you know, for grooming, not only for cleaning, but grooming in general. That's the idea of toiletries. Okay, very good. I just wanted like to, for us to clarify what her, excuse me, toiletry was about. I know that the other names are maybe more specific, a little bit more clear. But in this case, I think that the picture has been already painted in terms of what toiletries is. Guys, in our book on page 120, I'm thinking, I don't know, like in B.1. In 108, here we have some more products. And what you're going to do is to classify all the products that you see here on this list into the 5 categories that we have here in our book. These are the 5 categories, so you don't need me to go back to the presentation. That's the intention, classify all of these words into the 5 categories that we have in here. The words that we have in here are perfume, aftershave, lipstick, comb, earrings, nail varnish, shaving foam, deodorant, hair brush, necklace, eyeliner, hair gel, moisturizer, razor, and bracelet. Guys, do you have any question related to vocabulary of these words that we have in here?
Necklace, what is the meaning, teacher?
Necklace would be something that you put on your neck. You put it here.
Teacher, what is razor?
Razor, well, usually, well, actually men and women use it, but men usually use it like in their faces, you know, to take the bird away. Like that device that men use on their faces, but women also use it, right? Yeah, any other object that you want to clarify the meaning of?
Miss, moisturizer.
Moisturizer would be a kind of product that you apply. In some cases could be on the face, especially men, but in other cases, it is a product that you use in your hair. The word moist is like to provide humidity. That's the idea. So it's a product that you can apply, could be in your hair, depending on the context, also could be on your face. We'll see.
Teacher, what is
Okay.
What is what?
comb?
Comb. This device that you use for your hair. Okay, when you want to, well, actually that's the verb, a device that you use for your hair. Okay, better?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna give you a couple of minutes. I guess that most of the words have been clarified. Let's see how you classified them in all 5 categories. 3 minutes, just to make sure, starting now. Well, guys, time's up. Let's see how you have classified the words all into the 5 categories. We had to classify them all. Hopefully, we didn't repeat like items in any of the categories that we have in here. Let's see. So from the first category, let's say jewelry. Beatriz, how did you classify these words?
Jewelry.
Jewelry.
How do you say, teacher?
Let me turn the camera. Maybe if you see my face gets better. The connection. Jewelry.
Jewelry.
Jewel no. Jewelry.
Jewelry.
The thing is that I listened, I just said jewel. Jewel and re.
Jewelry.
That's the one. Okay, so
Earrings. Earrings.
earrings.
Necklace.
Necklace.
And
Necklace. And bracelet.
bracelets.
Bracelet.
Bracelet.
That's it. Very good. What about cosmetics? Let me have a look at least the final part of the list. Joan Sebastian. Joan Sebastian. Well, Joan Sebastian left for a minute, looks like. No, Sebastian, that's bad news. Okay, let me ask then Xiomara Caterine. What about cosmetics?
Yes, teacher. Lipstick. Eyeliner.
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 Mhm. One more.
Earrings.
No, earrings already belongs to jewelry. Let's ask maybe Santiago for help. Santiago, we already have lipstick, eyeliner. Which other of these items can be assigned to the category of cosmetics?
Eyeliner, nail varnish, and lipstick are the 3.
Very good. So the word missing from Xiomara's category will be nail varnish. Absolutely. Let's have a look at the next category. Is going to be toiletries. What about this one, Jorge? Which 3 items did you include in that category?
Deodorant.
Okay, that's one. We need 2 more, Jorge. Let's
Is
ask
the unique.
Jorge. Which one?
Mm,
Let's ask for help. Jorge. Hamilton.
okay.
We have deodorant. We need 2 more on that list.
Teacher, deodorant and product for, no. Toiletries.
You only have also deodorant, Hamilton?
Different of deodorant. Yes?
Different from deodorant, yeah, because we need 3 on that list. Jorge already gave us 1, which was deodorant. Now we need the other 2.
Teacher, maybe razor or comb.
Comb is not there. What happened tonight? Let's ask for extra help. Someone raise the hand. Catherine Alexandra.
Miss, maybe shaving foam, deodorant, and moisturizer
Okay,
or perfume.
moisturizer and perfume. Although shaving
Yes.
foam, actually that could be included in there, sorry. We have a category that actually, let's say, fits better with the shaving foam, you know? So like in conclusion, for the toiletries, we have perfume, deodorant, and moisturizer. Catherine, thank you very much. You saved Jorge and Hamilton. Let's have a look at hair products, Karen Victoria. Which three?
Hair products, there are comb, hair brush, and hair gel.
That's it, very good. And well, we only have 3 items left. Let me make sure that, Sergio, which are the 3 items that we have left? In this case, the category is products for men. Sergio? Let's have a look at the chat. Okay, Sergio. Thank you very much. Then Manuela, the ones that are left.
Okay, teacher, is a hair gel, shaving foam, and aftershave.
Well, shaving and razor, very good. Actually, hair gel, we already used it in the previous category.
Okay. Yes,
Hair
teacher.
products come, but the other ones that you named belong to that category. Okay, guys, very good. Well, it wasn't that obvious in some cases, but as we already established, probably if we talk about like in very general terms, of course, we can include, as you said, the shaving foam, the toiletries. Just like in this case in particular, we had like 2 different categories, toiletries and products for men. But at the end of the day, they also belong to this big category, which is toiletries, products that we use for grooming. So it is not like you were wrong, not like that. Just in this exercise in particular, we had 2 different categories, so we could specify a little bit. But at the end of the day, it's pretty much the same. There is a question in the chat, sorry, that is, what is the difference between a comb and a brush? Well, I don't have examples in here to show you, but comb, it is what we call peinilla, and brush would be cepillo. So at the end of the day, although the 2 products are helpful when we need like to comb our hair, the device, let's call it device, it's a little bit different, but that will be the difference between both of them, okay?
Miss, ¿y cuáles fueron los productos finales for men?
The ones for men, so we were talking about the razor. Let's say that in general terms, razor is like a sign for men. We were talking about shaving foam, and we were talking about aftershave. Those were the 3 products assigned in this case for men. Okay, Catherine, very good.
Teacher, and deodorant, no?
We assigned deodorant in the category of toiletries.
Yes, but it's for men too.
Well, like we can say that it is also for men, but not only for men. But well, you know, this distinction, like only for men, is like not properly, let's say, presented in this exercise in particular, but we can also include it like that. That is why I was telling you that toiletries will be like the big category. In this case, product for men, like to specify a little bit, but in this case, the other one will be like, it doesn't matter, men and women. Okay. Well, guys, we're going to move to the next part. Before we actually have a look at the grammatical component that we have for tonight, I have already told you that we will be talking about past simple passive. Here we have some information. Let me zoom out a little bit. so I can let you know what we are going to be reading. We will be reading these advertising facts and figures. The general idea in this case is talking about some history, let's put it like that, related to advertising. There are 6 different, let's say, facts that are being presented. Let me move this a little bit. We're going to read the information. It says work in pairs, but this first part, we're gonna do it the whole group all together. And as you see here in these different advertising pieces of information, there are like some possibilities, some choices, you know, and the idea for the moment, based on what you have heard, what you have listened, you have to choose one of them. Of course, I'm sure that some of you already know, but some of you like don't really know what the answer is. So eventually we will listen in order to check our answers and make sure if they actually were correct or not. Okay, so we will be listening and we're going just to predict choosing one of those answers. Of course, we will see if our answers were correct. So let's start with the first fact that we have in here. I would like to ask Valentina Ortiz. Valentina. Well, Alisa Asian told me that he had the problem with the microphone. I don't know what the problem Valentina could be having. Okay. Maybe she is not here. I will ask her once again in a minute. You guys could like let her know that I was asking her to read. Santiago, the first one, please.
Okay, teacher. The first TV advert in the world was shown in the USA in 1941. It was a 20-second advert for Jeep's toothpaste or Beloved watches.
Okay, we don't really know for the moment, right? So if you had to predict, Santiago, which of these 2 products actually are would be related, you know, to the information that is being presented?
Teacher, well, I guess that maybe the second Beloved watches.
Okay, we'll see. Yeah, guys, for the moment, we're just predicting. So don't feel like any pressure, like it is an obligation for like to know exactly. Let's predict. Let's continue with the second one. Natalia Navarro, would you read it, please?
Yes, the world's most expensive advert was made in 2004. It was 2-minute advert for Chanel and 5 perfume starring Nicole Kidman. She was paid 5 million for 4 days work.
What do you think? How much
I
did
think-
she get paid? Like 1 million or 5 million?
I think that 5 million.
Okay, we'll see. For the moment, we are just predicting, Natalia. Thank you very much. Diego, what about number 3?
Actor and sportsman Isaiah Mustafa was not well known before he started his first advert. In February 2010, he immediately became famous when he was chosen for the oddly sauceful Old Spice aftershave / Gillette razors campaign. I think Gillette razors.
Okay, hugely successful. We'll see. Thank you very much, Diego. I would like to ask Karen Juliet, could you read number 4, please?
The famous Marlboro men cigarette adverts were first seen in 1958. TV adverts for cigarettes were later banned in 1971 or 1991.
What do you think? If we had to predict, when were they banned?
1971.
Okay, we don't know. We'll see. Thank you very much. What about number 5, Jessica?
In 23, what's the
Well, there are two possibilities. We can say 2003, like the common way, or 2003, like in this case, the second zero, the pronunciation is like an O. So whatever you prefer, 2003 or 2003, whatever you prefer is perfect.
Okay. In 2003?
2003.
In 2003 and 2007, McDonald's First Global Advertising Company was launched. The I'm Loving I Company. Featuring Justin Timberlake was different because the same slogan was used in over 100 countries at the same time.
Okay, Jessica, thank you very much. The pronunciation here, advertising and campaign. You said company. And well, if you had to predict, Jessica, in which year? 2003 or 2007?
2003.
Okay, we'll see. And finally, let me ask, just to finish reading, Marlon. Number 6.
Number 6 in 2012 during
2012.
20
Marlon, ¿cómo que 12? 11.
in 2011, sorry.
That's okay.
In 2011, during the TV showing of the Super Bowl in the USA, around 3 million was spent on each 30-second, 2 minutes advertising spot.
Advertising. So once again, if you had to guess, how much would that be? 30 seconds or 2 minutes?
30 seconds.
Maybe. Okay, very good, guys. So notice that we were having a look at some facts and figures related to advertising. You already noted that we are talking about things that were already presented in the past. And once again, we were just guessing, literally, we were just guessing. Probably in some cases, you actually knew the information, why not? Now, guys, we are going to listen and we're going to check our answers. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. Remember, guys, that you have the information on page 109. We're going to listen and then we're going to see if our answers were actually correct. Okay? Let me zoom in once again. I'm going to share sound. Just in case, we're going to listen twice, you know, for you to pay attention once again to the pronunciation, of course, to get the answers, and then we can move to the next part. Let's see.
Unit 12, Recording 2. 1. The first TV advert in the world was shown in the USA in 1941. It was a 20-second advert for Bulova watches. 2.
The world's most expensive advert was made in 2004. It was a 2-minute advert for Chanel No. 5 perfume, starring Nicole Kidman. She was paid $5 million for 4 days' work.
3. Actor and sportsman Isaiah Mustafa was not well known before he starred in his first advert. In February 2010, he immediately became famous when he was chosen for the hugely successful Old Spice aftershave campaign. 4.
The famous Marlboro Man cigarette adverts were first seen in 1955. TV adverts for cigarettes were later banned in 1971.
5. In 2003, McDonald's first global advertising campaign was launched. The I'm Lovin' It campaign, featuring Justin Timberlake, was different because the same slogan was used in over 100 countries at the same time. 6.
In 2011, during the TV showing of the Super Bowl in the USA, around $3 million was spent on each 30-second advertising spot.
Let's listen again. Remember that the idea of listening again is to pay attention to the pronunciation and of course the answers. Then I'm gonna ask like one of you just to like summarize which answers were actually correct of each of the advertising facts that we have in here.
Unit 12, Recording 2. 1. The first TV advert in the world was shown in the USA in 1941. It was a 20-second advert for Bulova watches. 2.
The world's most expensive advert was made in 2004. It was a 2-minute advert for Chanel No. 5 perfume, starring Nicole Kidman. She was paid $5 million for 4 days' work.
3. Actor and sportsman Isaiah Mustafa was not well known before he starred in his first advert. In February 2010, he immediately became famous when he was chosen for the hugely successful Old Spice aftershave campaign. 4.
The famous Marlboro Man cigarette adverts were first seen in 1955. TV adverts for cigarettes were later banned in 1971.
5. In 2003, McDonald's first global advertising campaign was launched. The I'm Lovin' It campaign, featuring Justin Timberlake, was different because the same slogan was used in over 100 countries at the same time. 6.
In 2011, during the TV showing of the Super Bowl in the USA, around $3 million was spent on each 30-second advertising spot.
Okay, there we had the information. I'm sure that you paid attention to the pronunciation, also in some cases like the years, that can be a little bit tricky. So just to sum up, which the answers were, in the case of number 1, number 2, and number 3, Catherine Alexandra. Just the answers in this case. What about number 1?
Number 1, Bulova watches.
Number 2?
5 million.
And number 3?
All Spice after shave.
Aftershave.
Aftershave.
Perfect. Jorge, what about 4, 5, and 6?
4. 1971. 5. 20 and 3.
20 and would be 2003 in case that you want to use that version.
Okay. And 6, 30 seconds.
That would be it. Very good. Thank you, Jorge. And once again, in case that you were having problems like listening or something, I guess these are yes. So here in the recording, we can have a look at the answers that was actually the information that was presented. Very good, guys. Okay. As I was telling you, and as you already noticed, here the information was about, let's say, some advertising that was done in the past. Let me share the whole screen now. In this case, let's say that we can officially talk about the grammatical component. We're talking about past simple passive. Up to this point, we have already discussed different, let's say, grammatical tenses. And tonight, it's a little bit more grammatical because we are talking about this one in particular. We already know that everything that contains past simple, it is like an obligation that is about past. And if we're talking about past, we're talking about that action that have been already completed. What is going to be the difference if we talk about, let's say, the normal or the regular past simple? In this case, what is important is the action, okay? We don't really care on like the person or the doer who is actually carrying out the statement. Look how the sentences are created in this type of grammatical component. It says the mistake was corrected. Usually it's not necessary to say who corrected the mistake. In case that we want to add the information, we would say the mistake was corrected by the teacher. With this word, we introduce the idea of who was in charge, in this case, of correcting the mistake. Look at the second sentence. It says, you weren't invited to the party. In the two sentences, there are two aspects that we can see in common. Number one, we are using the verb to be. We have was, as you already remember, usually for singular, and we have were, in this case is negative, specifically talking about weren't, when we are talking about plural. The verb to be is an obligation, you know, when we're talking about any combination of passive voice, and the verb to be is the one giving us the idea that the statement is in present, in past, or in future. We have passive voice in all tenses. That means that we have to be very careful to use the correct verb to be. So to talk about the past, we have to use the verb to be in past, okay? Number one. What is the second aspect that we see in common in the two sentences? The verbs. In this case, the two verbs are regular, but the idea is that we use the verbs in the past participle form. Remember that when we're talking about verbs, we have like three big categories. The verb without any conjugation, like in the first column. On the second column, we have the verb in past simple, but in this case, the verb that we need is the third column, the verbs in past participle, okay? You have to be very careful on that part. I know that up to this point, you already know that we are talking about regular and irregular verbs and all those mini transformations that we have. So keep in mind that it's very necessary to remember that list of verbs, okay? Of course, what is going to be then the intention, or when are we going to use passive voice? We're talking about actions and events that happened in the past. Of course, that is the main purpose of this type of statement, okay? Guys, it's very important. This is not a typical statement in past simple. We are talking about a new, let's say, grammatical conjugation. Let's have a look at the advertisings that we have in here. For example, I'm going to use number 5. It says, the advertising campaign was launched. We have the verb to be and the verb in past participle. Then the same slogan was used. We have the verb to be in past simple and the verb in past participle. In both cases, it is regular. So it's very important that we see the combination of the sentences and keep in mind that this is not a typical sentence in past simple. This structure actually is very common. You know, we use it more than we probably notice. Past passive voice has the idea or the connotation that is like kind of elegant, but it is not really elegant. Probably in some cases, we find it like in articles, in research, when we're talking about products after any type of, let's say, investigation or things like that. But actually, it is a tense that we can use. It doesn't matter how formal or informal the context is. Probably it's a little bit more academic, but we can use it whenever we need it, okay? What would be the idea of this type of sentence? I'm gonna, well, use Spanish a little bit. When we say the mistake was corrected, how would be like the translation of this sentence?
El error fue corregido.
El error era correcto.
Fue corregido.
Fue corregido.
The first answer, exactly, because remember, we need the verb to be and then the second verb in past participle. For the moment, we don't really know who corrected the mistake. In this case, I gave you the information by the teacher, but it is not like necessary to say who corrected the mistake. That's the idea of this type of statements. Note that we are not saying yo corrijo el error. No. Fue corregido. Who corrected? In this case, the teacher, but that is like the essence of passive voice. What's important is the action, not the person. Let's say the person who's doing the action, okay? So there are two very important elements that we need to refresh our memory from. The first thing that we're going to do before we go to practice, let's say like we're going to take a step back and we're going to refresh our memory with verbs in past participle. Remember, we're talking about the third column, and in some cases, while we, let's say, refresh our memory, we tend to use the verbs in past simple. So we're going to play a very fast and short Kahoot to refresh our memory with the verbs in past participle, okay? So I'm gonna share the screen with you. In this case, so you don't see me suffering, I'm gonna send the link to the chat, or you can, you know, scan the QR code, which method is easier for you. So for the moment, only, let's say that our attention will be placed only to the verbs in past participle. Once again, just to refresh your memory. I know that, you know, actually you don't like make mistakes with this type of, let's say, conjugation of verbs, but just to check, you know. Well, let's see, there are 22. Let me see if there are any repeated names. 21, I really hope that the 21 of you can take part of this game. It's very short, you know. You're gonna notice that we are not going to spend like a lot of time playing the Kahoot. I'm drinking water just in case. 18. Let's see. We have any other participants? 19. We have Vanessa, Catherine, Marlon, Diego, Kiara, MT. Hamilton, Jorge, Karen, Xiomara, Mandy, Karen, Steven, Manuel, Beatriz, Sebastián, María B, Manu, Natalia, and Sergio G. Okay, I think that we can start. It's a really fast Kahoot, okay? You have the verb and you have to choose the past participle form. Let's start. Only 10 seconds. Okay, it's lost. Very good. Loosen. And well, in this case, it is not regular. We're talking about an irregular verb. Sebastian, very good. Let's see. Ajá. A mini cascarita. Wrote is the verb in past simple. The past participle would be written. That what I was telling you a few minutes ago. We are so used to the verbs in past simple that for us it's so natural to use that category in particular. But in this case, we need to move to the next column, which is the verb past participle, and the past participle of write is written. Okay, some changes, interesting. The same idea, known is the past participle, know it doesn't exist, and know is the past simple. Natalia, now you are the first one. Let's continue. Very good. In this case, it's a verb. It's a regular verb. Even doesn't count in this case. Nothing to say really. What happens with try? Let's see. It's a regular verb. And as you remember, guys, when we have a consonant before the Y, we have to make this whole transformation in spelling. But I'm not going to say more because we have more verbs later. What about drink? Very good. Drank is the past simple and the past participle is with you and it is not a regular verb. Well, Natalia is still first. Let's see. Next. It is hot, very good. Well, you know that these are like the cascaritas ones from the list. Haven't is not a verb. It changes after every single question. That's interesting. What about meat? Okay, this is carne, right? The red one. No changes, no changes. I already gave you the tip in this case. Very good. Once again, remember that if we have a consonant, we have to make the transformation. Status is in present simple, and we are not using present anymore. And well, this transformation, it is incorrect. Well, there is no transformation actually. Remember, change it when there is a consonant before the Y. What about cook? Excellent, regular, nothing to say. One of the most common, I dare to say. Eaten, very good. This, the one in blue, doesn't exist, and 8 is past simple. Ah, no sale la tabla. Gone past participle, went past simple. We're about to finish this part. It is found. It's an irregular one. We gotta be careful because there is a verb that is found, el de fundar, but in this case we were talking about find, you know, and found, that verb fundar, it is regular and the past would be founded, but just to make sure, you know, that we don't mix the conjugation of the verbs. So to finish. Excellent, guys. Very good. We already know that these two versions are in past. We need the past participle. Well, the final one, no mistakes allowed. It is a regular verb. Very good. Well, let's see the podium. Kiara, very good. Let's have a look at the second place. Natalia, excellent. Natalia, what happened? Sebastian, congrats. Sergio and Manuela. Okay, guys, very good. So that was the idea. So notice that although we're talking about something that looks pretty obvious, it's essential that we keep in mind the proper conjugation that we need. In some cases, we know that verb like so well that we don't really need to check it. In other cases, we haven't used that verb that much. And sometimes we don't believe, you know, on that conjugation. I'm going to use like one of the examples that we had probably more, let's say, wrong answers, not many, but anyway. In the case of the verb write, we have seen wrote so many times, and then when we see written, it's like, but I haven't used that one. And we always rely on what we know. So we use wrote, but remember, we need the third column. We need the past participle. If we are not sure, let's look for the verb, you know, let's take some extra seconds to make sure that the conjugation that I'm using is actually the one that corresponds to past participle. Not like, okay, wrote, and that's the only one. There is another version. The case of the regular verbs is great because they keep exactly the same conjugation in terms of spelling, but with the regulars, we have to be sure, you know? Well, guys, we are going to do a second activity now, in this case, talking about passive voice. As I was telling you in this previous exercise, the intention was like to take a step back, refresh our memory, and make sure that we remember the verbs in past participle. This is what you're going to do. First, I'm going to give you the instruction, and then I will send you the link. Okay, we have already done this type of exercise before. The idea that we organize the letters. So the letters, no, the words. So then the idea, it's completed. You have to drag and drop, you know, a letter. For example, in this case, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna put this. So we have the whole combination of passive voice in past. I'm going to return just to make sure. So note the combination of the statement. What we care about is the action. The final part, the information that we have at the end of the statement is by him. Probably it's because it's not that important. That is what we care about, okay? And that's the idea. You organize the statements, making sure that the structure respects, let's put it like that, the idea of passive voice in past. So this is the link. Guys, let me know if it works properly. Let me refresh here the page. Is it working?
Yes, Miss.
Perfect, guys. Thank you very much. So, I'm gonna give you, in this case, I just saw there are 14 sentences. I'm gonna give you 7 minutes, like some few seconds. In some cases, some are a little bit longer. Anyway, I will be checking the results, and then we will have a look at the sentences, all corrected at the end of the game. Let's start. I'm gonna display this slide in case that you need to refresh your memory about how the organization has to be, just to make sure. Well, guys, not more interruptions for you. 7 minutes starting now. Okay, guys, thumbs up. Let me see how many answers do we have in here. I will show you the podium right now. One final refresh for the page. Guys, excellent. All correct answers. Very good. I wasn't expecting something different. That's the idea. I'm really proud of you. Great job. Let's see the podium. We have Diego, Beatriz, and Manuela. Jorge, Karen, Manuel, Steven, Hamilton, Maria V, Catherine, Kiara, Mendy, Sebastián, Karen J, Xiomara, Jessica, and Sergio. I think that the ones that are missing is because they haven't finished, because I think they are in here. Well, we already had the answer key. Let's have a look at it. I'm showing the whole screen. Yes. But, well, we don't really need it because in your case, guys, you had all the correct answers. Very good. Anyway, I'm going to ask you, do you have any questions? Perfect exercise. Okay. Excellent, guys. Very good. Now, you already noticed that, oh, probably you have already seen that when we're talking about passive voice, if we have passive voice, it's because we also have active voice. We are talking about two very important concepts. And maybe you are wondering, I think, like what could be the possible difference between both type of sentences? As we already said, when we talk about passive voice, what is important is the action. In the case of active voice, what is important is who is doing the action. Here we have probably one of the most common examples when making the comparisons between active voice and passive voice. Here we say the dog chases the ball. Of course, the first part of the sentence is leading us to what the most important information is. We can say somehow that this is a typical sentence, you know, the subject, the verb, and the complement. We already know like that organization when we are talking about creating the typical sentences in English. And that type of organization is called active voice because the most important part of the information is who's doing the action. In technical names, let's put it like that, would be the subject. And as you already noticed in passive voice, what it's important is the action itself. So if we change this sentence that we have in active voice into passive voice, it will be the ball is being chased by the dog. Notice that this is the part in passive voice. I was telling you before that passive voice could be in any tense. Our focus on this unit is passive voice in past. But notice this example, we have being. In this case, this is passive voice in present. We always need the verb to be and the verb in past participle. So just for like extra information, this will be passive voice in present. What would be the difference between both of them? Just like the intention that we have, you know, because both of them, active voice and passive voice, are, let's say, normal in English. Let's call it normal. Because we can't say that one is better than the other, that one is more popular than the other. Maybe the only difference, as I was telling you, would be like the context, you know? For example, the examples that we have in here. Usually passive voice will be present when we're talking about scientific reports, you know? It says, the rats were placed into the maze. The governor was inaugurated at the State House. That would be like a way to use passive voice in that type of context, you know? But notice that in some cases, it is better to use active voice, you know, like to make sure that the type of writing is clear. Usually writers, you know, depending on the voice that they are using in their books, students deserve more flexible scheduling options. This is a normal, regular sentence with the subject, with the verb, and the complement. So just like to point out the difference is like how you want to sound. Like for you, what's the information that is more important? The subject, like the typical sentences, or in the case of passive voice that you care more about the action. And it's very important, guys, that we keep in mind that we can't say that one is better than the other or one is more important than the other. You can use passive voice in any moment. In some books, you will see that passive voice is only academical and only technical, and that is not like the reality at all. We can use it whenever we need it. Just make sure to use what you consider is relevant for you, depending on what you're saying, okay? Guys, questions from this part? I've been talking too much tonight. Well, we're going to practice now. In this case, we already talked about verbs in past participle, passive voice, and now we are pointing out these two types of sentences that they exist in English. We can't deny because we can't separate them. We use passive voice and active voice in real life. I'm gonna send you to breakout rooms, you know. In groups, you will be doing this final exercise that we have on page 109. Remember the context that we're using in our unit, talking about advertising. But as you already noticed from the examples, we can use passive voice like to talk about any topic. The idea is that you have to decide which is the correct form on each statement, if it is active or passive voice. Of course, guys, you have to read the whole thing, all the information that is being presented in order to identify in which moments we use passive or in which moments we use active voice. In total, in here, let me zoom out a little bit. We have 8 statements, as you already noticed. We have like the two possibilities, the passive voice version and the simple past version. Those are like the two type of tenses that we are, let's say, combining in this case. So I'm going to create the breakout rooms. Guys, do you have any question about the instructions?
Yes, Miss.
I mean, no questions about the instructions.
I have a question, teacher.
Yes,
We have only to choose the correct answer in the exercise. Okay, only that. Okay.
Yes.
Thanks.
And what is going to be like your point of reference? Is it active voice or passive voice?
Argument.
That would be it. In case, guys, that you want like extra information from your book, here on page 160, as you probably already noticed, like at the end of the book, there are some grammatical notes that you can use also as a point of reference. So all of you have the book, so you can also have a look at it when you are like choosing your sentences. I'm going to create the groups. Let me make sure that there aren't repeated names. Okay, perfect, guys. There are 8 statements. You will be working in groups of 3. There, in some cases, there will be groups of 4 participants. I'm gonna give you 15 minutes, and then we get back and we check. Well, guys, let's start. Let me make sure that you can share your screen. There you go. Let's go to your rooms. Hamilton and Vanessa, tell me, do you have any problem to go to the groups? Ah, bueno, Vanessa ya se fue. Hamilton. But Hamilton, if you have a problem, let me know. There you go. Okay, let's begin.
Hi, teacher.
Hi,
Hello.
teacher.
How's everything going? Hmm.
Teacher, we have a question.
Tell me.
With the fourth sentence and seventh sentence,
Okay.
we are confused when we should use past voice.
Okay. And like, what's the confusion in particular? Why passive voice?
Bueno, voy a hablar en español.
¿Cómo
Es que
podemos
ahí nos
verificar?
confundimos con respecto al sujeto. Digamos, yo personalmente estoy confundida en esa parte, porque a veces tomo como el nail varnish como igualmente fuera un sujeto, aunque el sujeto es el que hace la acción.
Exacto. Por eso siempre nos toca mirar toda la oración, porque si nail varnish puede ser quien la realiza, por decirlo así, o quien la recibe. Si solo miramos las dos primeras palabritas, pero si miramos toda la información, no podemos decir que el esmalte creó en los años 20. El
Ok.
esmalte fue creado, ¿sí? Entonces, claro, al solo mirar las dos palabritas, uno dice, pero aquí qué. Es hasta que uno no lee todo, que uno no se da cuenta qué tiene más sentido. Lo que les digo, yo no puedo decir que el esmalte inventó en 1920, es imposible. ¿Cuál forma es más correcta, por decirlo así, o si es correcta, que fue inventado? ¿Listo?
Lo
Listo.
mismo en esta.
Yes, teacher.
Lo mismo entonces se
Y
aplica en
lo
la
mismo
séptima,
sucede.
exacto, porque no podemos decir que los DVDs crearon, o bueno, manufacturaron, español, auxilio. Lo mismo, viene siendo la misma idea. El objeto como tal no creó nada, ellos fueron creados. Entonces siempre nos toca leer absolutamente todo lo que tiene la oración para poder determinar si la está recibiendo o la está haciendo. ¿Listo?
Ok, teacher.
En algunos casos es más fácil, por ejemplo, en el caso de la primera, digamos cuando lleva el by, ¿no? El by es la pista directa para que sea voz pasiva, pero como no siempre va a llevar by, ahí es donde entra, digamos, la confusión, ¿por qué no? Mientras tanto, como en el caso de ustedes de la 4 y la 7, no tenemos el by, pero ya tenemos que escoger es qué forma tiene sentido. Y es ahí ya la otra pista.
Ok.
¿Listo? ¿Better?
Sí,
Yes,
thank you,
teacher.
teacher.
Perfect. In around 2 minutes, we will get back to the main code.
Ok.
Bye.
Bye, teacher.
Bye, teacher.
Well, guys, welcome back. I think that now all of you are here. Let me make sure of that. Okay. Well, guys, we're going to have a look at the answers. I'm going to display the answer key so you can compare with yours because of time. So this is how you should have, let's say, answered the statements. There was like a question about, this could be a little bit tricky, you know, and actually it is. At the beginning, trying to identify when we use passive voice or active voice can be a little bit complicated. Guys, from my point of view, as a learner at some point, we need to analyze always the whole context. And at the same time, while you compare, we also need to choose the information that makes sense. In some cases, that is also how we discover it. Like we say, okay, but this sentence sounds weird. Like I was telling you in a group, we can't say that the object created something. The object was created. That's like the logical, let's put it like that, order of events. So although in terms of grammar, it is subject, verb, complement, the general idea would be weird. So it is very important that we read all the information. That would be number one. In other cases, number two, it is easier to identify when we have the word by. By probably is one of the most important, let's say, hints to discover when we are talking about passive voice. Unfortunately, we don't always use the word by, right? In some cases, as you already noticed, we don't really need it. So I can't tell you that only with by we discover passive voice would be a lie. So guys, you already compared. Questions, tell me.
Teacher,
Let me get closer to the
number,
screen.
Number A down.
Okay, sorry, yeah, you're right. Yes.
Thank you.
Welcome. Something else that you want to clarify, how similar, how different they are?
The same.
Great, very good. Okay, guys, so I don't want to keep you waiting. Of course, we will continue practicing this topic. This is just the beginning of passive voice. As I already told you, it is in present continuous, in future with modals. So for every single tense that we have in English, that is the version of passive voice. Well, guys, don't forget what I was telling you at the beginning of the session. We have a kind of discussion pending, and is how we are going to organize the groups for the final presentation. Yes, Santiago, tell me.
Well, I wanna asking you about the project groups. Well, yeah. We have to make the groups, or you need to the groups, join the groups with the chat WhatsApp from the chat WhatsApp.
Yeah, guys. Yeah, actually, you can decide that on your groups. In the material folder, here we have, you will see that we have the list. I eliminated the person that unfortunately can't continue, so there is one spot left in group number 4, but of course that's a decision that you guys take as a group. The idea is that you, let's say, invite Santiago and Karen to be part of the final presentation. I'm not going to force you like to put them in group number, blah, blah, blah. The idea that you guys decide which group is going to, let's say, accept them as part of the members for the final presentation next Wednesday. You don't have to tell me tonight, but please tell me tomorrow, okay? So you make the decision as a group, of course, the wonderful group that you are, and you can help each other. So tomorrow we can like finally organize how you will be presenting in terms of the groups that you are like belonging to, okay?
Miss, can you show the screen again, please?
Am I not showing the screen? Yes. What do you want to see? This
the
one?
page number, yes, thank you.
Okay. I'll take the screenshot because we have to go. Ready?
Thank you, Miss.
Welcome, guys, as usual. Thank you very much. Don't forget to tell me tomorrow about the groups. Have a wonderful night. Bye-bye.
Bye, teacher. Thank you.
Bye.
Hi, teacher.
Take care, everybody.